So please welcome from the United Kingdom our first international guest, a beautiful, wonderful lady, Kitty Kavanagh.
Hello. Morgan, eh? 23 grand for a new vagina. She could have had mine for 5. Well, I recently gave up drinking, so I'm not going to be using it for a while. I have been travelling through your great country, and on occasion I've had to use a public bathroom, and I've noticed that church people like to leave a lot of literature for you to read, don't they, in public bathrooms. I particularly like this one, which is all about sin, because I can imagine public bathrooms is where a lot of it is committed, especially if you're George Michael. So, but the reason I like this is it's, at first, it seems like, quite a nice instruction. It says, the first line is, sin, it is not a thing to be thought so lightly about. Well, I didn't know there was thinking involved in sin. Just a bottle of vodka and a handful of Quaaludes, really. And then it goes on to say, God will not punish anyone that sins, but will punish the devil. Well, that's fantastic. I can carry on being a slut. It's not going to be me who gets it, but a man in a red leotard. So I quite like that. But then it goes on to give you a few warnings, which I thought I might share with you. Sin destroys the mental faculties. Again, the vodka and the Quaaludes. It sort of runs on, doesn't it, really? And then it turns around and says, sin is the cause of nearly all disease and sickness. And that it may not be your fault, but somehow, back in their ancestors' lives, was sin. I'm screwed. I'm from an Irish Catholic family. I have a whole line of alcoholics and sexual dysfunction. So again, may as well just be a slut. I'm going to get it anyway. And then it goes on to say, I love this bit. Everyone that lives a sinful life leaves an influence. And dear reader, it's assuming that you're reading this in the public bathroom, as you're having it away with a strange man you've only known for an hour. Although I have to say I've never done that because I actually do have OCD. And it's very difficult to let yourself go when you're thinking, Jesus, there's germs everywhere. And it says, you surely do not want your children to be drunkards and unrespectable. Do you? I don't know. Do I think drunken and disrespectful children would be much more fun, wouldn't they? And you like to get them started early on the shoplifting, Little hands, innocent faces, Gucci bag for mama. So, but then it finishes off, and I do like this. If we try to enter heaven's holy gate with sin in our heart, we will be cast away with the goats on that day when God should judge all people. Now, what has a goat ever done? I quite like goats. I can think of other animals I'd much rather have cast out. What about poisonous snakes? Or cats? Cats would be my number one. Because, cats, as my lovely father would say, they'd eat you. They'd eat your cats. If you were to have had the vodka and Quaaludes and sort of fallen downstairs within a week, you haven't had anyone come and find you, little old Tiddles be nibbling at your ankle. So I think they're the ones that should go out of heaven. But as I said, I've given up drinking. It wasn't my decision. It was mainly the fact that I kept making very bad moves while drunk, sleeping with not very attractive men, actually. So alcohol is a gift. Is a gift to men who who otherwise, you know, would be paying women $50 a time. So I have given up, and that also means I have no chance of a relationship in England, because that's the only way that we actually get together. Sort of starts with a woman, you know, she goes out, she has no dinner, drinks 2 bottles of wine, she loses a bag with her phone and her keys in it, she loses her friends, she goes to a bar, there's a man there, he has his own teeth. They go home, have sex that neither of them will remember. Next morning she feels a bit of a hoe, so she starts dating him. 3 months later they're living together, you know, that's how the British get it on. But that wouldn't happen here, because your beer, well, you like to call it beer, don't you? We call it water. You know, I've seen that Bud Light. Wash my teeth in it, to be honest. You want to come round our way. The other thing that I've noticed about America is the whole love of guns. You do like a gun, don't you? And it was I think it was on CNN, which I love CNN. It's like a pantomime, isn't it, really? He's behind you! Bin Laden. He's behind you! You know, and I loved it, I have to say, I much preferred Fox. Fox is just fucking hilarious. They were talking about there's a terrorist threat in London, you know, and they more or less saying that the whole of London was going to be blown up, you know, the whole of London, and then she even got into a role, and she was like, it's the whole of England, you know, Americans, don't go near that, it'll all explode. You know, like with this tiny, it's almost like saying that, you know, we're just this bit of district. It's a bit bigger than that looks, you know. But I love this whole kind of thing. It was like, oh, America's a violent society. Let me tell you now, guns are not violence. They're cheating. That's what they are, love. They're cheating. If you want to see violence, you need to go to the north of England, any former mining town, on a Friday night, you know, you get any of your gangster dudes in there, you know, sans guns, with no guns, get them in there doing all that. There'll be a man there called Brian, he'll sort them out, you know, he'll be about this tall, bald, stocky, all the names of his illegitimate children tattooed badly on his body, you know, and basically he'll just have to look at his beer wrong, and he'll give you a punch. That's violence, my friends. You know, not this gun business. I could do that. I could shoot somebody. Might just do it now. Anyway, so the thing I was going to talk about, obviously, is about sin and how we view sin in the UK, which is, as long as it's under a duvet with no lights on, you're all right. You know, anything goes, basically. I have to say, by the way, I love the dudes down the back there, you know. I love that. Are they the token straight men? Is there like a quota in San Francisco, you know? There has to be so many straight men to every gay guy, you know. These ones have been imported. I love the way they're all back there, just kind of playing the pool, not noticing the jokes about vaginas. Yeah. To be honest, I had a look at them. I don't think they've seen one in quite a few times. So anyway, my darlings, I think I might just go before I say something that might be really offensive. Like, Bin Laden! Anyway, I'm going to head off. Thank you so much. It's been really sweet. I do hope you've understood the accent. If you haven't, watch episodes of The Osbournes, because that's Ozzy Osbourne's from the same town as me.
Birmingham!
Oh yeah. Our mascot is a shumbling alcoholic. Woo-hoo! I'm going to hand you back to David. Thank you.